Now, our next replay is the Varese. You guys voted for this. This is a replay from SFNL, purveyor of all things crazy in this game. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's a problem with the ship build because it's an experimental ship, meaning the shipbuilder doesn't have, the tool doesn't have the ability to pull up his build. So instead, we can talk a little bit about the ship, what makes it special. So I can highlight some of the skills that you're going to want to take on this boat, and then we go from there. So this is a cruiser. This is based off the Michelangelo, the Tier 9 dockyard ship. This is the Tier 10, the Varese. And she's the second wave of experimental ships. And the second wave of experimental ships works a little bit differently. Most people know Michelangelo's got the SAP secondaries, and so you typically will build Michelangelo for SAP secondaries. It's got the ability to use exhaust smoke so it can hide itself, and it can secondary all the things. Its main batteries are in the middle of the boat, which just feels really weird. The AP on it absolutely demolishes broadside cruisers and even battleships. So it's a very powerful boat. HE is all right against stuff. It also has some nice torpedoes. It's got pretty darn good armor plate on the side. So if you're good at angling, you can deflect a lot of AP shells coming your way. If you're bad at angling, you die pretty quick. Now, what makes her different, the Varese different, is she does not have access to a smoke, to an exhaust smoke. Okay? It doesn't not have HE, so it's got SAP for the main battery. So I believe in the case of the Varese, chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe for the Varese it's got HE secondaries, whereas the Michelangelo had SAP secondaries. That's another big difference. By the way, the ship that we are giving away to celebrate hitting that $3,500 milestone, hello Brutus, is the Giuseppe Verdi, the Tier 9 Italian battleship that has SAP secondaries. Oh, it does have SAP secondaries as well. Interesting. Okay. Because the Michelangelo, if I remember right, it could choose only HE or AP. But like I said, it doesn't have the smoke screen that you can deploy. So you have to play a little bit more cautiously about positioning. It does have the heavy repair team consumable, though, which is really nice. It just turns this thing into a super tank. Like, if you need to do a gamer turn in front of somebody else, I call it the cruiser loser turn, where you show broadside and take citadels up the bum. You can just pop your specialized or heavy repair teams, and you're okay. It's got hydro, which is fine, too. And the torpedoes reach out only to 8 kilometers. I believe the Michelangelo's torpedoes reach longer. So that's something that always throws me off when I play the Varese. But the main gimmick on it is that the more, oh, that's neat. The more you take damage wise, it's got a built-in buff for the main for the secondary batteries for the range, and I think as well for the reload for them. So as it takes damage, it becomes a bigger beast. Unlike the first round of experimental ships, it starts with full health instead of like 1/3 health. That's up to you, Pac. The other option is we just do the sturdy replay. Don't care either way. What's up, Advanced Agent? All right, so let's take a look at the matchmaking top tier. That's a theme for today, it seems. Everybody's been sending in top tier replays. Okay. Some nice cruisers that you can smash. All of these cruisers you can smash, and these guys you can secondary. You like the first wave better than these? I think the first wave of ships were more busted and stupid, like the VJJ and the Mets. It's in the replay analysis channel now? Okay.
The was infuriating.
Yeah, that's why we call it the VJJ. All right, so Pac's going to use that for his sub replay for this one. Okay, so then that means we'll retain the sturdy replay for potential on Friday. Oh, this is the Azure Hindenburg. Okay. Let me get that rendered.
Bien hecho, comandante.
Now, this boat does not do well in the middle of the map, so you can see SF is wisely heading towards one of the flanks. I see a lot of cruisers, they like to play at this spot here, which is right here, and you can do that, but it's extremely dangerous. If the enemy manages to wrap around either, or even worse, both sides, you're absolutely screwed. It's a good choice maybe as a radar ship or something. Ooh. Ballsy SF. He's shooting, sees priority target, so he's got priority target as one of his skills. Oh, skills, commander skills. You absolutely want secondary skills, right? So you're going to want the slot 3, the secondary extension. You want the secondary flag. You want pack a punch, which extends your your secondaries and also increases your torpedo damage. Concealment expert's going to be very important because you don't have a smoke screen. And I'm a huge fan of priority target, and I know SF is too. Radio location could help. It's not so important. Close quarters combat, you can see right here, or top grade gunner, I mean, is also really handy because if a ship is within your standard detection, then bam, you get a bonus to your secondaries and primaries, if I remember right. Okay, so your replay render is done. Good. Base skill improves secondary reload. It's a, yeah. Thank you, Bach. Either way, for a secondary cruiser, it's absolutely, you know, a necessity to take it, so. Then your typical adrenaline rush, survivability expert, maybe superintendent, probably superintendent because it's got a heal, right? Those kinds of things. Very important skills for cruisers. Too bad you had HE in the barrels, or SAP in the barrels. Still gonna do pretty decent damage if they connect. Now the middle guns, the main guns are 360 degrees. You can see they're turning now because SF smells blood. He sees the Jinan in the B cap. Yeah, he's probably using a similar Napoli build. How do you get this ship, Miyadathi? It's in the tech tree in the section called experimental ships. You may want to consider using Hydro soon. And you've got this Ruprecht that might be pushing in, so watch out for that. There goes the secondaries on the Ruprecht. What I like is that you're not detected while doing this, so that's kind of fun. There's the Hydro. Little late, but hey, better late than never. You're gonna take a torpedo possibly because of that. Yeah. The big thing is you gotta make sure you don't take the second torpedo here. Looks like he decided to turn into that one. I have that same problem. I do it all the freaking time. Flagships and experimentals leave in 14.7. Yes, that's true. Oh, Jinan backed up for the Valpo. Interesting. It's going to pull forward because the Valpo is going to smash him, and then you're going to smash him. So this should be fun. He knows you're going to smash him too, so he's turning. Look at that. You can torpedo him. Oh, also watch out for his torpedoes. Yes, there they are. Secondary's on the black. Good thing he used reload booster on you before, huh? It costs a lot of credits, so it's probably not worth picking the Varese up at this point. But I believe there's a patch or a flag or both that you get if you did pick up all of them. Anyway, very nice job torping the Jinan, and then fortunately the Valpo secondaries took care of the black. And you can see, look at how much heal he's getting from the heavy repair teams. It's just such a good consumable. I've been able to absolutely abuse that healing before playing on the Hotaka, the tier 9 Japanese battleship. KB Fibers, atomic grade. What's an atomic grade? I've never heard of that. How you doing? Happy Sunday. You just realized the match is a 10v10. Yes, it is actually. Interesting. Electric, is this more Persian music? Is that what you're picking out right now? Going into kite? Thought so. Okay. The big problem is if you come out at the same time and you're sitting and you're facing the Salem and Valpo. So I think what SF needs to do now is kind of slow down, wait for his teammate Valpo to choose to go in. It looks like he's choosing to not. I mean, you got 2 cap points and you're tied up on ships. What's up, Major Par? How are you, sir? Yeah. Were you streaming today? You should have tuned in on Friday. I was wearing a stack up jersey that looks kind of like the stuff that you like to wear. There's a shout out for Major Party. I'll go take a moment and follow him if you haven't already followed. Brilliant EU streamer. Does a lot more than just warships. Caught him doing what was it recently that you were doing? Flight Simulator. With that poor lady that was all worried about getting about getting motion sick. I wasn't joking when I said time to make her puke, you know. I always wonder what happens if you do that. I mean, do you like fail the mission? Do you have to start over again or something? But my wife was somebody that's always worried about being in small planes and motion sickness and all that kind of stuff. So that clip, man, that clip was great. That clip was great. So there's a part. Yes, this is a replay, GMAC. There was this like clip for a moment when he pans to the cockpit, and I made a comment to him about his passenger. His passenger was some woman, and he like repeated the joke or something, right? And he goes to the cockpit and he looks over, and she's looking right at him. That was awesome. You couldn't have scripted it better. Oh look, you've got 3 ships that all want to kind of sit around by you. So this is a replay. This is SFNL's replay in the Varese. Did you just end your stream or something, Major Par? I saw somebody saying something about a raid, but I didn't see a raid go through. So maybe that was you, or maybe it was somebody else. I don't know either way. But yeah, we've been chilling. You okay? It was much earlier. Gotcha. 2 fires. You might want to consider DCPing. 3 fires? You really might want to consider DCPing now. There it is. But watch how much HP he bounces back with the heavy repair teams. It's wild. Yeah, so we had a $500 giveaway this weekend. Today's the second day, the final day of it. It was tied to donations for Stack Up, which is a really awesome charity supporting veterans' mental health through gaming, and our goal, you can see up there, our goal was to hit $3,500 raised. We smashed that goal. We're at $3,536 so far. And so we have one final ship to give away, and that's going to be the Giuseppe Verdi, the Tier 9 Italian battleship. One of my favorite ships in the game. So as soon as I had the opportunity to get rid of one of those, to give one of those away, I took it. And that's because of us winning Team League, which Major Power is a part of. Anyone tried Irresistible in Ops and Co-op? Curious, it might be an interesting choice for first Research Bureau ship. I have not, but I could see how she could be fun. I still think maybe Ohio might be a better choice overall, but... yeah, Irresistible could be good. You're PvE main and you find it mediocre. Interesting, GMAC. Thanks for sharing that. Look at the Azuma assuming dominance. Yeah, but this poor Salem is kiting back to the corner, doing nothing for his team. Now, we do have music playing if you're watching on Twitch. Electric has been playing DJ. You can play DJ too by typing ! song request and putting in a title and author if you want. If you don't like listening to music at all, I do stream this on multiple different channels. I've got a YouTube, actually 2 different YouTube channels, one vertical and one horizontal, like this. And then I also have Kick and Rumble as well that do not have music playing. For a co-op, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, I think Ohio is probably where you'd want to start. After that, Colbert might be kind of fun in operations and co-op. I like how the Salem's turned around like, pay attention to me. And rip to Cleveland. Colbert's fun, but a lot of work. Absolutely. So the Azuma gave up because he says I can't hit him. So the concern about that, of course, is if the Azuma dies to the Monarch. I mean, SF will still probably win this. The points are up here. These points are reversed. It's a replay bug that's been in this game for 3 or 4 months at least. Sometimes replay points are reversed. Checking to see if the Monarch is detecting him. Yeah, I would think Colbert could be really effective. Could also be really not if it gets focused, but you know. All right, and there's our Monarch. Also something about Varese versus Michelangelo. Michelangelo can't bow tank Monarch, Varese can. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't recognize that. Huh. You were thinking of the Ohio as well originally because secondaries. They had a new ship. Figured you'd wait. Eh. It's a bug? Nah, it's a surprise feature. That's right. Alright, the final heal. Fortunately, SAP secondaries just chew its way through 32mm armor plating, which that's what the Monarch has. Yeah, if you've got Smolensk, you don't need Colbert. Oh, you've got outnumbered too. Look at that. He's gone for outnumbered. That's odd. Okay. Well, look at the power of the secondary build with the Michelangelo. I mean, just chewing through that armor. 2.1 million potential damage, 274,000 almost damage done. He's gonna slow down now and get the cap. Unfortunately, the fire that was just set by the Monarch is gonna burn almost full duration, and there's no more heal left. So at this point, all SF has to do is just sit, right? And he's good. Are you gonna DCP that? No. Why are you leaving the cap? You are. Okay, those are 2 things I wouldn't have done, but alright. I would have stayed in the cap because it's extra base XP. And, but, well, Okay. SF wants to go fight. He wants to assert dominance. A little greedy there, in my opinion, because you just can't... You can't tell what your teammate's gonna do. You can't control your teammate. So I think you'd be better suited just sitting in the C-cap. Yep, he's looking for damage record. So opening up there so he can get himself detected, shot at, so he can shoot back. And also so he can set up for this. Because he knows Asalem's going to charge into him. Look at the secondary range. Look at the secondary range. Because of the damage he took, look at those secondaries. I mean, hello. The concern, though, is if he dies and the Azuma decides to get into this. You saw he's on top of the leaderboard on NA, so this is probably the replay where he got it. Which means you already know how much damage he gets in this replay. Well, I think you've pulled up a little bit too far forward because now your front secondaries... Now, okay, now they're shooting. 287. Yeah, see, the Azuma's getting in on this now. I mean, okay, that just means Asalem's gonna shoot him instead. Ooh, AP. Deliberately did not mention it earlier. Got it. Kraken does not die. 296,500 damage. Is that the number you saw, Electric? Look at all these medals. Typical SFNL game. And keep in mind, he did that with 2 fewer ships in the game, right? Because this was a Q dump. Which itself is quite wild. So, Confederate. Number 2, he had 289. Okay. Gotcha, so this is number 1. Huh. The Confederate, Fireproof, 2 close quarters, Dreadnought, Kraken, and High Caliber. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Why is the E blanked out? That's another one of those fun bugs that got introduced, you know, features. He got an efficiency medal, it just doesn't show. So you don't know, like, what number it was or whatever. That's just how it works sometimes, I don't know. But take a look. Just like the Schlieffen game, your secondaries are almost on par with your main battery hits. That's absolutely wild. I want to see something, though. Look at that poor Monarch. Almost 39,000 damage from the sap secondaries. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Is that the most you did? 35,000? 38? I think that might be the most you did with your secondaries. Yeah. Jeez. I mean, absolute craziness. She's absolutely a beast. She's a lot of fun to play. If you have her, go enjoy her before she's gone. If you don't have her, you got to pay a lot of credits to get to it, or possibly doubloons if you haven't been paying attention to the event. So, probably not worth doing it at this point. All right, let's put the replay render tool up. Chat, what would be a good title for this game, huh? What do you guys think? And I absolutely agree, Ghost Friend. Very strong showing. Very strong showing. But, I mean, that's a typical SFNL. Maybe that's what I should title it. Typical. Just as a joke. I think I'm going to title it Typical. Because if you know what SFNL does, this is a typical SFNL game, right? Just... Why? Here to get the Vertibird AK-47. Yeah. Where is it? It's up for grabs. Exclamation point charity. We're going to do that draw once we finish a particular mission in live play. So that way there's no set time. I'm not playing favorites or anything like that. All right. And we're doing that to celebrate hitting our goal and now exceeding our goal of $3,500 for stack up, which is awesome. Thank you guys again so much for helping support that. You can see the links there in chat. I'm really surprised you went in with the Valpo leaving, but I think you both had the same idea of wanting to kite away and just abuse your secondaries. But that Valpo was just in a worse position to do that. That's where you lost most of your damage. Or took most of your damage, I mean. Speaking of damage, I didn't mention this. 200,000 damage taken in a cruiser, guys. A cruiser. That's ridiculous.
That's massive.
Yeah. That's the power of the heavy repair teams. Hello, NC fan, and awesome. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, look at that. He goes, the Azuma goes all the way to the corner, or the Salem goes all the way to the corner, and the Azuma's like, nah, I don't want to die. So he just runs away. I didn't realize he was being shot at the whole time. Wild. And then he puts the Hydro on. Okay. Look at this Monarch. Watch this Monarch just melt. Absolutely melt before SF's secondaries. And a couple of cheeky hits from the Azuma, too. Gone. Just like that. Craziness. And then the greed moment, where SF realizes, hey, I can get a damage record out of this, and says, I'm going to go with the SAT school of anything goes, farming the enemy simulator. I could put damage record on there as a title. What do you guys think? Damage record better than typical? Oh, goodness. All right, SF. Well, thank you for your typical game. Thanks for all the support over the years. And yeah, that was fun to watch. And I'm glad we got a game of that recorded, possibly to go to YouTube, so people can see just how much of a monster this ship could be in the right hands. Yeah, Varese loves getting shot at, absolutely.